What's up, everybody? It's your boy Totes. Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we're in the living room today recording this video because we normally record in the garage, but it is 103, 104 degrees outside, and the garage is a sauna right now, so we are not going in there. So we took over the wife's living room to bring you the review today. But enough of all that. Today we are going to review the AGM Global Vision StingIR 384 Thermal. We've had a chance to shoot this for a while. We've had it for about 4 months, so it's about time to give a review on it. So stay tuned. Let's get to the show. All right, so let's talk StingIR 384 from AGM. Before we jump deep into it, I want to kind of give you a few specs over it, just some things that you can know about it. But we'll start with what comes in the box. You have a bracket mount, which actually mounts to a helmet. I have not mounted to a helmet yet. I am waiting on a few things to work out before I do, because what I want to do is mount it with a PVS 14. You have a button that does slide. You can put it on either side, left side. You can go right side as well. It also comes with a bracket to mount to a scope or to the scope lens. I haven't used this. I wasn't really a fan of it when I saw it. I'm not really interested in that. But that's just another option for everybody to use. It comes with 2 different eye rings, a small one for when you're using on a helmet, handheld. This one can be used while on the rifle. So you have those 2 that come with it. And it comes with the C cords that you can use to transfer video, whatever it may be. And it comes with extension caps for an 18650 battery, if you want to use that. I am using right now the one for a CR123. There are downfalls to that, and we'll talk more about that here in a second. The resolution is a 384 by 288, and the lens size is 16 millimeter. Field of view is, 16.3 by 5.3. You know what that is? I don't either, so it doesn't matter. We'll talk a little more about that. It does accept CR123A batteries or RCR123 batteries, or you can do the 18650. The CR123s last about 3 hours. I was getting about 3 hours out of mine too. Sometimes I'll turn it off a lot, but I realized turning it off and on wasn't really saving me any battery. You get about 6 hours or 5 hours out of the 18650 battery. So that's something to look at. The 18650 you can get it rechargeable as well, so that may help you a little bit. But if it dies in the field, being able to recharge your battery is not going to matter anyways. You won't be able to use it out there. That's just a little bit about it. They also make a 650 model again, like I was saying, which will come with a better image resolution and things of that nature. So let's talk about some of the things that I like about it. So it actually can be mounted 3 ways. Again, it can be mounted to a helmet, it can be mounted to the front of a rifle, or it can be a handheld. I run mine mainly as a mount to the front of the rifle. I'll show you my setup here in a second. But I usually run mine as a mount to the front of the rifle. That will change eventually. But right now, that's kind of where we are, okay? So we're gonna go from there with that one. All right, so this is my current setup right now. We're running on a PWS MK116 Mod 1 with an EOTech 1 to 10. And we mounted right to the front of the EOTech 1 to 10. This is kind of how it looks. This is a perfect solution, perfect mounting setup. I've run this out in the field for at least 4 months. I've taken it hunting about 5 times, and the field of view is pretty nice. It's very clear, and I think that has a lot to do with your scope too, right? So you have a decent scope on there. It'll definitely look good. Let's talk about things that I do like. Color palette changes, which is, so you have your power button here. You can change your color palettes here. You can change it from a from a white hot to a black hot to a like rainbow hot, and then you have where it's white hot, but it actually shows red on the hottest portion of the body. So if it's pig, it'll show the hottest portion here, probably in the mouth. Human body's gonna show the hottest portion here. Whatever you look at, it has that option too. So those are the settings for it. It is an 8x zoom, which you would zoom here. So you can zoom 8 times. I don't normally zoom with this. I usually, typically, if I'm going to zoom, I'll zoom with the actual optic, the LPVO that I have mounted to it. I zoom with that because I get a better clarity on the picture-wise. So it looks good like that, but I never really use this zoom on here. It's not really necessary for me, I don't think. Field of view is okay. I think that's one of the things that I would look at. Well, I think that's kind of one of the things I would look at if I were to say, let's change something, right? The purpose of this is not for that though, so that's not really a big deal at all. Some pros that I love about it, I love the size and the weight. It doesn't add much weight to an already heavy rifle, right? It doesn't add much weight to this, which is good because it's already heavy. So the weight is really good. The build quality is nice. The picture quality is really good as well. And I'm saying you may get behind because it's a 384 resolution. So you may see some that are better, but for what this one is, the 384 resolution is enough. It's perfect. It looks really good. The battery life, not a big fan of it, but you know, when we're talking pros right now, I like the button setup. It's simple, easy to work, everything like that. And I like it doesn't take up much space either, right? We're talking about your rail space where we still have a light here. You know, we have a full optic here. We have that there. We still have a little bit of rail space. So I'm glad it doesn't take up a bunch of rail space. That's perfect. I like the durability and I like the functionality of it. I like the fact of the versatility of it as well, right? So this can be put on a helmet. You can hand hold it. You can put it on the front of a rifle. That's awesome. It's like an all-in-one thing. So that's good and that's awesome. I like that. For me, I think what I will eventually do is I'm going to mainly mount this on, I want to mount it on a helmet, right? After using it for a few months out in the field, playing with it, shooting and stuff, I like the field of view, but I think I would be better if I had a rifle-mounted thermal optic. So not a clip-on, but a rifle-mounted thermal optic. Now, for what we're doing, let's say we're just doing something quick, take the gun out, it's perfect for a quick setup. And I think I couldn't ask for anything better like that, but if I were to think it out and figure out what I want to do now that I jumped into it, I would actually use this as a helmet mount to scope, to scout, look for things, and check out the scene. And I would actually put one of AGM's actual rifle-mounted thermals on the rifle. Only reason I say that is you get a wider field of view and stuff like that. So I think that would be better if you had a rifle-mounted thermal. Now, we're not there yet. We're going to get one of those. But until we get one, we're going to run this one because it definitely does the job. There's no issues with it. But I think long-term, I would rather have this mounted on a helmet. So throughout the summer, it'll get mounted on a helmet. And that's where we will go with it. But other than that, that's the pros. Let's talk some cons, okay? Let's talk about a couple of things that I don't like. One, I don't like the mounting system. A couple reasons. For one, I want to mount it on a helmet have a thermal on one side and a PVS-14 on the other side. The problem is the proprietary mounting setup. There's only one other company outside of AGM that makes a bracket that you can mount the StingIR and mount a PVS-14 to the other side. So there's only one company that I know of, and I've been searching for a while, that makes a bridge for that'll fit this. Now, if it had the same footprint as, let's say, the one from iRay or a couple of other ones out there that have kind of the same footprint, if it would have matched one of those footprints, it probably would have been a little better for the fact that I would have more options of mounting dual, making it like basically a dual setup. Now, it can be done, so that's not like a con as in, oh, I'm over it, I don't want to do it because of that. That's not an issue. It's just that's one of the things that I wish was a little different is the mounting setup so that you have other companies that are making bridges so you can mount a PVS-14 and a thermal on each side. Now, of course, with this, I can run just a thermal and that's it. like a monotube, which is totally fine, and you can do, and I will do. But when I get my PVS 14, I will want to mount both of them and not run them together, but flip one up, run night vision, flip it up, pull the thermal down, run it like that. I do not like that it doesn't have a record on it. Now, I'm not familiar with a whole bunch of other companies that make the smaller clip-on thermals. I wish it had a record on hand so that you can record anything that you're doing. It does not have a record, so that's another downfall I wish it had. Now, trying to stuff all of that technology into this little box is probably not something that's possible. So I get that, and it's not a true con as in, oh my gosh, I hate it, but it's just one of those I wish things, right? It's one of those I wish things. I wish it had a record button, a record on the device, so that you can kind of get some footage of what you're shooting. One other con is it's only rated for 5.56. That's not terrible, but it depends on what you're hunting, right? So you're hunting coyotes, that's the 5.56 will work. You get your heavy grain bullet, it's fine. The 5.56 will work with hogs, right? But I wish I could mount this to a 308 and run it where I knew it wouldn't affect the optic, right? So I have mounted on one before, shot a couple rounds, but I won't mount it there for the long run because I don't want it to damage the optic. But so that's one of the other cons. It's only rated for 5.56. Now, with those cons, those are not deal breakers for me, and probably not for a lot of people. For what this is for, I think it's a perfect optic. I think on their website, AGM is coming in at about $3,000. You might can find it a little cheaper at retailers outside of AGM. I would check and look at that, but it's running about $3,000 on AGM. Overall, I think it's an awesome product. Oh, I forgot, it's a manual focus right there. But other than that, man, I think it's awesome. Again, I've been running it for a while. The clarity is awesome. The durability has been awesome. I love the little optic. I'm gonna continue running it. I'll continue running it in this setup. Throughout, I will continue running in this setup until I mount it to a helmet, but it won't get mounted to a helmet until I get a weapon-mounted thermal. It'll always be running on this, but I think it's a perfect setup for what it is. I understand the reasons that it doesn't have some of the things that I want it to have, which I understand why it doesn't. Those are just things I wish it had, right? But other than that, I think it's a quality optic. I think it's worth the price, worth the money. I looked through used a few other thermals of this size and of this type, and I think it lines up with those, right? I think it lines up perfectly with those. I think it's perfect for what it is. I think you guys should try it. But anyway, that's our review over the AGM StingIR 384. If you guys are interested, go to AGM's website, check it out. Check out some other people who have done reviews over this. They'll tell you a little bit about it too. But anyways, thanks for coming to the channel. It's your boy Totes. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys later.